Does this mean Overwatch is back?
No.
Have you ever wanted to experience Overwatch 2, but without the feeling of tiny little shards being buried deep within your foot? Or how about without the total boredom as you rot mindlessly for days just trying to queue into a game? Yeah, you know the one, you finally load in, just to experience
Non-stop ass!
over and over and over again. Well, that doesn't exist. Go play Outer Wilds or Ocarina of Time like a delicious four-eyed swimmer. Enter Marvel Rivals, the Overwatch clone to save the day, to bring back that long sought-after nostalgia you got from playing Overwatch all the way back in Game of the Year 2016. There, I said it. Come at me. Sue me. I said the bad word, clone, because yes, Marvel Rivals ripped off Overwatch. 100%. Did Overwatch invent hero shooters? No. Did they refine the genre and inspire many more games to come? You'd hope so, because this is some crazy coincidence.
What a nauseating bout of deja vu.
And although some people might have already knocked a few of my teeth out, maybe called me a Blizzard cocksucker, hey, someone might have even called me a Jew. That's topically relevant.
The hell is Israel?
It's just something Rick starts talking about when he's blackout drunk. What? In what way?
Let's get one thing straight. There isn't anything wrong with stealing a billion-dollar company's idea. Oh, I know. Look who watched the Hassan stream. Shut up. I truly believe at this point, if we want to make a better version of Overwatch, I'm not saying 2, 1.5, then it isn't going to be made by Blizzard. That's for sure. Overwatch has shown a complete lack of care. Yeah, not understanding because they're fully aware of what they've done for the game, the community, the culture, and it comes to no surprise why hero shooters are back on the rise again, and why Rivals has made great strides with its closed beta. Okay, I know we're sounding like an outro of a video here, so let's go all the way back. You're reaching Unky status. Look, that's a new word I learned off TikTok.
Get the fuck back to work!
Games ain't hitting like they used to. Gaming isn't fun anymore. Maybe you did run that 6-man on Overwatch back in the day, but now it's 5-man. The queues are massive, and the game is wank. But that itch, it's still there. Maybe Paladins? No, don't be so stupid. Concord? Yeah, over my dead body. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare? Wait, hold on. No, hold on, someone cooked here. How about something new, completely under the radar? Maybe a Chinese tech company.
Faster!
Who makes mobile games.
That's just one. There are more.
With their total assets adding up to 112 billion Chinese monies. And up on a big billboard, come on, bit bigger than that. There it is, brand new hero shooter based on Marvel characters. That is surprisingly really good. We're gonna glaze and we're gonna criticize, but come on, it was about time. A hero shooter using the actual IPs of heroes. No more Mortal Kombat clone DC. Or the one-week wonder which was multiverses. The new gimmick is here, and it might last longer than Sydney Sweeney's gynecologist. Because the game, yep, come on, drum roll, is more fun than Overwatch. Okay, how could that be, you ask? I have 22,000 hours playing as Mercy because I love munching Farah's Boxall game and opening my mouth as wide as I can to take the group leader's wiener. That is a crazy right. To answer that, we must first discover why the teenager who managed to lose his virginity whilst having a poster of Trace's ass on his bedroom wall began to rapidly fall out of love with the game in which you gaslight your teammates into playing healer. Yeah, I know I already did this like 2 years ago, but they demonetized the video, so I didn't get paid. Also, I know this is kind of crazy this early on, and I've never done this before, I promise. The like button, the bell, and the sub. In 2002, Jeff Kaplan joins Blizzard. Look at him go. And he starts work with the World of Warcraft team. During this time, he's out there grinding on quests and all that shit that WoW players are into, young girls, and he does such a good job that he becomes game director. Let me just say, by the way, that these WoW campaigns are serious business. I watched that South Park episode, okay? I'm clued in. There's a huge emphasis on world building and characters, forming a world in which people practically live in. And this becomes ever so important when he moves on to the never-to-be-released MMO, Titanfall. Just Titan. Many of the ideas in this game would soon become Overwatch, taking the foundations of an FPS shooter centered around characters with several classes that all had different abilities, and these characters were also planned to gain points to spend on a skill tree. I wonder where we've heard that before. Regardless, it was evident that this game became the foundation of Overwatch. I think Jeff even admitted to it at one point. So him and Chris tag teamed to make the game, which rakes in $1 billion of revenue in its first year alone.
The episode of Overwatch for the first time.
And you know, the game of the year, if that matters to anyone. I was on Overwatch early, okay? I remember pre-ordering that shit straight after the beta on the Xbox One. And if you didn't get to experience this prime Overwatch, then I honestly feel bad.
It was a very enjoyable experience.
Mom said last night.
Shut the
I think the game's initial appeal to me was the 21 hero roster, each with their own unique story and abilities and playstyles, and how they all fitted into this world.
Overwatch
The reason I stole the last minute of this video off Wikipedia was to demonstrate how integral these two people were in making me care about a brand new IP with 21 random characters. Why the fuck would I care about a big fat ape that eats bananas? Oh wait, it's because he built a Chromium accelerator. Overwatch did a really good job marketing the game. They were posting overviews of the heroes before the game had come out to try and build up hype for each character and their whole stories. Much like another game at the time that was beginning to lose its grip on the whole hero shooter market. I know I'm gonna lose some old head points here. I ain't beating the new gen allegations, but I wasn't on that with Team Fortress 2. By the time I had a computer that could finally run anything, I was watching FaZe Clan gamble on CSGO, and I thought that would be my Valve game of choice. And I know that TF2 is different to Overwatch, but at the time, those were the comparisons, and the communities were pitting both games against each other. Look, this game's free, but this one's got double the characters, and it's new, and it's on the Xbox One and the PS4, and look, all your friends have now got it. And yeah, for the most part, I don't regret making that decision. The Summer Games event in 2016, Lucio Ball, oh my god, chef's kiss. The chaos of team compositions before anyone knew what the fuck they were doing. The self-healing Bastion that just did whatever he wanted. They gave him a fucking shield. And that's why Overwatch was so good. It was able to emulate that same chaos that TF2 had, where at the time, individuals were stealing the show, getting disgusting play of the games in all sorts of random team comps because people did not know what they were doing.
What the fuck is he doing?
And that's usually the best point of a game's lifespan, at the beginning where everyone's just trying to figure out their shit. It's why Fortnite got a bad rep when the building sweats moved in. Because the game became something that many people didn't want it to become. Presumably a lot of people saw the potential in Overwatch because they enjoyed TF2, and later down the line found the elements that made that game fun were being stripped from it, turning it into a painful and stressful competitive experience with nerfs and buffs and reworks, which became an endless cycle, where there's heroes now getting suspended from competitive because they're broken and they haven't fixed them. And Rainbow Six Siege were copying their homework while that was happening. And yeah, during this period, I still stuck with Overwatch and enjoyed it. Blizzard envisioned this game to be a competitive shooter, and once people had finally learned how to play the game, that is exactly what happened. And despite my little whinge just then, I was okay with that because I was 13.
You're a fucking Please, it's a fucking joke.
And if I didn't rank up, it felt like 10 9/11s on my doorstep. But yeah, as time goes on, a lot of us move on from that competitive grind. Maybe you picked up something else. I swear it becomes a point at every man's life where it's either League of Legends and celibacy, or a cold beer and doing the same 3 tricks on Skate 3 all night. And that was okay because they had arcade modes and challenges to earn loot boxes and really fun timed events with friends. Like that Junkenstein revenge thing during Halloween, and those seasonal missions like Uprising and Retribution. It's honestly crazy how much content was released for Overwatch in its first year alone. And that goes to show, honestly, how bad Blizzard has fallen in terms of the level of enjoyment you can get out of playing Overwatch 2. Somehow since the game's released, it's managed to maintain its player count, despite the absolute shitstorm of bad decisions Blizzard has made across the board. And this is something that we have seen not only happen time and time again with games like Overwatch, but pretty much any game that has some sort of live service model.
Twin Minguses.
Jumping off his balcony. The game catering for the few that are gambling addicts and won't get off the fucking game.
Yeah, some min.
How many times do we see streamers getting excited for new events because they get to go into the item shop and buy skins?
Dude, they all look so good!
And this is something we see in every game under the sun now. FIFA completely abandoned career mode, adding practically nothing to it each year. They did the same with pro clubs not too long ago as well. And now that's led to people making mods to career mode to make it somewhat enjoyable, or just people pissing off to play Football Manager because they're real men. We have to score to send crew semi-final at Wembley. Yeah! Or Call of Duty, completely going out of their way with pay-to-win cosmetic bullshit because, yeah, people don't like it, but enough people pay for it so we can justify doing it. Let's pay $15 for a new bundle that gives me XP, yay. Right, so I know this is a video about Marvel Rivals and Overwatch, and maybe some of you are getting flashbacks to Valorant versus the fandom, so we're gonna go very quickly through Overwatch 2. Follow my fingers, okay? Game releases. Wow, 3 new heroes. But wait, where's the PvE mode? You know, the whole point of Overwatch 2 and why you're shilling all this marketing for a game which could have essentially just been a cute little update instead of acting like you're Jesus Christ turning water into wine. But lo and behold, the PvE does not exist. I'm not even going to say delayed. The version that they are selling to you did not exist. In the beginning, it was believed that the PvE mode would honestly cure cancer. 3 talent trees per heroes with 18 talents on each of these trees, and you start to do the maths with the 30 or so heroes they have in the game, and you realize that's over 2,000 unique talents to put in the game. Just think for a second how long it takes them to make one hero with some abilities, then you start to realize they're basically making hundreds of new heroes. And if Overwatch did want to do this, they could have. It sounds crazy, but they are rich, and this could have been done. And Jeff Kaplan certainly thought so because he was hyping this project up big time. But then, guess what? A higher up says it isn't profitable. Funding is cut. And this whole project that Jeff has been shoving down our throats looks like a massive joke. And to no surprise, guess who doesn't work for Blizzard anymore? The PvE did release though, a year after Overwatch's release. I know you're dying to hear my thoughts, but no, I did not buy that fucking shit. Yeah, you'd catch me dead before I spend a dime on Overwatch again. So, in short, here's a Steam review, which I think encapsulates the experience perfectly. It's just 3 missions each, and they're like 20 minutes long, and you could basically learn the story from reading it on Reddit. I'm going to recommend this, however, because it gives you 1,000 Overwatch coins, making it only a little bit more expensive than buying the coins outright. That is actually incredible. He's basically just recommended Overwatch coins. That's unreal. I guess it is worth it then, because you can use those same coins to get the Battle Pass, so you can unlock heroes earlier in the Battle Pass. Out of the many things that Blizzard has done, I think that has to be the craziest, honestly. Locking heroes behind paywalls. There are people playing the game that did pay for the first Overwatch. I bought it on Xbox One and I bought it on PC. So it's crazy when I hear that they stick a 2 on the end and make you pay for heroes. And this has now changed, but only this year. Like, how did it take that long for it to be remedied? It's insane to me that a loot box system, which was gambling, is better than the 100 different currencies I have in the game to buy stuff with.
I don't speak your language.
Like, I was actually overwhelmed figuring out what any of this did. At least with loot boxes, you had 2 options. Do the free cute little challenges and roll the dice, or pay real money and roll the dice. And honestly, I think that discourages people from getting their wallet out because there's a risk to buying the loot boxes because you don't know what you're going to get. Whereas now it's a race to the item shop for streamers as soon as Daddy Blizzard releases a skin. And this over-monetization of the game has enabled it to move away from what people like Jeff initially envisioned for this game.
This isn't me $1,000,000.
The most recent Winter Wonderland event was staggeringly bad. It was a free event, but there was a paid version called the Premium Event Pass. How cool. So there you have it. If you want all the skins in the event, you'll have to buy this separate Battle Pass. No, because even if you did buy the pass, you still wouldn't be able to earn enough tickets to get all the skins you wanted in the event. The only way you were able to earn everything is if you bought the Winter Fair bundle, which would give you enough tickets to complete the whole thing. Even worse, it gave you more than enough to cover everything in the event. So if you wanted to own everything in the event, you shouldn't buy the Battle Pass. But did Blizzard want you to know this? Of course not. So people bought the Battle Pass, realized they couldn't get everything they wanted, and then spent a combined £30 to get everything. And this doesn't even scratch the surface of the stuff that Blizzard has done. There's loads of videos out there documenting their dodgy business practices over the game's lifespan. I'm sure you can watch them. So we're done with you. I don't want to play with you no more. And look, enemy AC 130 above, Marvel Rivals. What should I do tonight? Spend time with my wife and kids?
What the fuck is going on here?
Or run it back to Pandemic Valorant and sit patiently watching a streamer play Marvel Rivals so I can get the beta code? I'll tell you what, someone must have been looking over me. They must have known I was making a video or something, because the amount of people that got shat on trying to get a code was crazy. Anyway, we log on. Got the bird chirping in my ear as well.
Game's so fucked, dude.
These voice lines are making me fucking racist as well. And I'm like, wow, Overwatch has had a lick of paint, hasn't it? The reason I took you all down memory lane with Overwatch, because the game is so similar. Like, come on, don't just give it a pass, because it's more fun than playing Overwatch right now. I enjoyed my time in the beta like the next man, the same way I enjoyed playing Overwatch many moons ago. And that's why today we've learned about what went wrong with Overwatch, so that we can measure our expectations for the full release of this game. Because, yeah, I had a whole lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to the full release, because I do see the potential in this game, and there's tons of reasons for that. Like I mentioned earlier, I said how much fun Overwatch was when nobody knew what they were doing, when people were just trying to figure out what worked, and this is exactly how this beta has felt. People trying literally anything to see if it can work. Whether that be switching off a character because they're shit with them, or hugging onto a character because they saw a TikTok edit and thought, oh my god, he's just like me for real. It's like Christmas Day Call of Duty as soon as you understand how to play a single character. And without role queue, it made for wildly different team comps. Do I have 4 DPSs? Oh no, maybe let's only have 1 healer this time. That's the creativity I want to see more of in games like this, because metas aren't particularly fun. And yeah, it will be inevitable that there will become a meta, a certain way to play. I was in silver in the beta. I'm sure the level 1000 boss has already figured out the meta, and I'm just a level 1 crook. But that doesn't mean it isn't relevant to how I experienced the game. I also just liked playing with 6 people on my team. It felt complete. It felt, don't you say it, Overwatch. I find it funny how Overwatch are now currently testing 6v6 again. After listening to concerns from the community, I think someone was a little bit worried about rivals. Another cool thing about the game is the characters having buffs depending on their team-ups, which can also help shift the meta. For example, Scarlet Witch and Magneto, okay, I'm not saying that again, are a team-up, which gives Magneto this cool-ass sword, which is completely different to the skill sets he starts out with, encouraging players to play a different way. Try these team-ups to your advantage. To play devil's advocate, okay, that could in turn create a meta where there's a perfect team-up, but honestly, I think it'll just give people the opportunity to weigh up the pros and cons of whether they can gain an advantage by doing one of these team-ups. And even outside of this, shit like this where the characters can interact with each other is cool. Look, I'm just like Rocket Raccoon in that movie. And that's where this game might have the edge on others that have tried to move into this market. We know the many reasons why Overwatch was successful. From the ground up, they were able to give us characters we cared about and felt attached to, from seemingly nowhere, with the help from people who had worked on projects in which that was one of the vital instruments to it. Rivals has already got that because they are based on already existing characters that we've grown up watching in the cinema or on TV or in games and comics, literally everywhere. They don't need to try as hard to convince me of who this is because I already know who that is. And of course, that was initially where this beta found success because look, it's that game that was once good but now turned shit, but instead of Overwatch heroes, it's actually heroes from the medium that I love. When I first played the game, I had my eyes set on the Punisher because I love boycotting Bud Light and throwing forks at the dinner table. And I also gravitated towards Star-Lord as well because I love stomping. And that was the Marvel pull, okay? Because we know that these are obviously cooler than these. I like the Overwatch heroes. I bought into that whole thing, but come on, we know these guys. And the game does a pretty good job at not just throwing a bunch of Marvel characters with random abilities. Like, they actually feel relevant to the hero. Like Doctor Strange using all the powers in the multiverse to tank the FPS of my 50 grand PC. I think Rocket Raccoon also drops the F-bomb in this game.
See? I'm fucking helpful.
I'm flarking racist here.
And his voice is definitely based off Bradley Cooper's. A lot of the game evidently takes a lot of inspiration from the actors that play them, which is immersive to me because that's what I associate Marvel with, not specifically the comics. But even in that realm, the game already has skins and cosmetics which are derived from those comics, meaning that the content is already there for them to push out. And some of them they already added to the beta were pretty cool, even if I couldn't push up my glasses and go, oh my god, that's Iron Man number 931, the one where he sucks off Thanos' meat. Actually, you know what, can I be honest with you? I just threw that in there for the ballers and the Mr. Money bags. I ain't giving a fucking shit about cosmetics, okay? What I think really got me enjoying this, like even enjoying losing games, no fucking meditation, no therapist in my head, okay? I'm zen, I'm okay with this, none of that bullshit. I actually had fun when I lost a game. And that's because it feels like each hero is effective at many things, not just in a specialized area. I know there is 3 categories. The game is trying to handheld someone into picking the right people, but it felt like it wasn't so reliant on providing one person the enjoyable experience while I sat back and pocketed like Mercy. I'm from a time in Overwatch, and I'm not sure if that's changed now, where people would be crying for a Mercy on their team. And Mercy is the most boring fucking character in the game. She has a gun, but she can't use it, because if you do, your teammates hate you. You've let them down because you can't do both at once. But in a game like Rivals, it feels as if everyone can have some effect on their own game. For example, Venom is a tank. Tanks are historically slow. No, never mind, he's able to swing like Spider-Man, which makes sense because he's Venom, so he is able to do damage to characters in the sky, the same way many other characters are able to. And there's destructible buildings in the game. No, we're the good guys, I promise. Palestine attacked us first. So, I can Adam Warlock straight into the World Trade. I didn't have anything to segue into this bit, so that was as good as it's gonna get. If you've played Battlefield, I'm sure you're familiar with Levolution. You blow things up, thing breaks, map technically changes. I think another example would be the finals, but that stopped being the current thing 5 current things ago, so forget about it. I think the environment's being destructible. Oh my god, I'm fucking stuck in the wall. Whoa! Hello! Is a really unique feature of the game, and I want to see more maps with it in. I don't know if I can find the gameplay, but I was hunting some guy running away, and I just blasted his whole house down with the Iron Man ult. And that's the type of creativity I want to see in this game, to divert it away from just being an Overwatch clone, because the ceiling ain't high at this point. Even shit like the time to get back on the spawn point just felt so much faster than in Overwatch. I don't know whether that's because the spawns are closer, or the characters have faster movement than in Overwatch, or the map is smaller, but that felt so much better getting back in the fight, rather than having to wait for my team to finish dying. It's boring, and it's why I stopped playing tanks in Overwatch. Like, my main is Lucio, Soldier, and a Pharah, and they can all move quickly. Doctor Strange is in that tank category, and when I played him, I found him a little bit slow. But what is one of his abilities? He can make a whole portal so he can get back in that fight. And that's just one instance of numerous heroes that feel like they can all do some individual impact on the game. There were other quality of life things, one of them being how the payload is pushed in the game. Rather than the famous, everyone runs away from the objective and the payload doesn't get pushed, that doesn't happen in this game, because once you capture the payload, it continually moves until the enemy capture the payload, and then it starts to be pushed back again until it's recaptured. And I think that's amazing because it is so boring to wipe out a team and then just rot on the payload for 30 seconds. Like, I want to push up higher and hold the enemy team back. In spite of this, there are still things to address with this game because, yeah, no shit, I don't think the brand new live service game has everyone's best interest at heart. During the closed alpha test in May, NetEase required creators to sign a contract. I've been trying to get geeked on.
Have you been checked for idiot?
NetEase required creators to sign a contract, which would mean that streamers and content creators playing the game would be unable to shit talk the game. They did address this contract in a tweet, kind of apologizing, but like they didn't even explain why they said what they said. They were just like, oh, miscommunication, my bad, which is strange in itself. And hey, maybe I'm gonna get some shit for this. Maybe Fox News has gone to my head. But yeah, I am skeptical about this unknown Chinese company making a game. You know, shoot me. I don't know whether they truly care about what they're doing or whether they just want to make a fat bag. We know what happened with Overwatch. We know where hero shooters have been leading as of recent. And yeah, I don't know where the future of this release is going to go because despite having fun in the game, I'm still very aware that this isn't something new and we've seen games like this come and go over the years. This game hasn't completely revolutionized the genre. They've stolen an incredibly successful game and made it more enjoyable in my opinion. This is Moira, this is Echo, the list goes on. The game's got a battle pass and I'm always going to throw hands when I see one. And I also don't know whether they plan to start locking characters behind that battle pass because that would be really disappointing.
See, I didn't put the glasses here because you can like see that he's crying. He's upset.
At some point with Overwatch, they had a dev team that did truly care about what they were doing, but now it's ran to the ground with corporate greed, and I'm fearful that rivals might have seen a big opportunity to make a fat bag using that Marvel IP to lure in not only fans of Marvel, but also people fed up with the current state of hero shooters. Because of what Overwatch became, almost gets erased out of my memory at times, like it didn't happen or something, because without me making this video, I would have never bothered to go back and play the game. I was 13 when it released, and I played it a lot, and I loved every minute of that.
Why can't Genji get to a certain point?
And over the years, they've become incompetent to the point where my tolerance for Blizzard has hit an all-time low. Like, I'm done with Overwatch. Maybe I've grown up, or maybe Overwatch truly is awful. I don't think Marvel Rivals is going to cure my inner child, okay? I'm not a young man anymore. I ain't gonna rack up 2K hours in it, but if it can provide a better experience than Overwatch 2, then that'll make me happy. And in response, I'll play it from time to time with my friends. So the ball's in your court, rivals. You wanna do a hit and run and make a shit ton of money and just become the what could have been? Or are you gonna grab this opportunity by the horns and make something really special with the resources at your disposal? Your call.